Let's discuss the recent hazing incident with Attorney Louie Aseoche, former president of the UP Triskelions Alumni. Welcome to the big story, Attorney.
Good evening, Gretchen.
Attorney, a lot has been said about Tau Gamma Phi the past days. One being, people can't fathom how pain can be inflicted upon a brother. Your reaction to the recent happenings?
Yeah, well, Gretchen, we condemn it. Looking at that video, there is no other way of looking at it but that it is a crime, a murder, and that it was perpetrated by members of the very fraternity you wish to join and which you are supposedly a member of, because this is just a simple welcome ritual, makes it doubly revolting. It is unjustifiable, and I, as a member of the Tau Gamma Phi, would not for a second think of it as anything else than a crime.
Attorney, just to be clear, dahil these are all just chapters and eventually you are all affiliated, there is also an anti-hazing law already. Just to be clear, officially, ano po ang policy ng Tau Gamma Phi? Do you subscribe and do you follow the anti-hazing law?
In the University of the Philippines, which is the founding chapter of the Tau Gamma Phi, we are compliant and we always adhere to the no-contact policy. It was in 2015, it was actually in place in UP way before, when the 1995 anti-hazing law was already in place. And then when an incident transpired in 2014 involving another school chapter, we found it as an occasion to reiterate our advocacy of no-contact policy, this time with UP leading the no-contact policy and enjoining other school chapters, other councils, and other chapters to pay heed that we should be compliant with the law. So yes, as a matter of fact, in UP, the mother chapter, in all of our 55 years of existence, we have not had any frat or hazing-related deaths in the University of the Philippines.
But in effect, I don't know what you would call it, but an association, you have affiliates, you have chapters in other universities. The qualification of UP is, of what you describe in UP is clear. But as a confederation of different chapters, do you have any control over your other chapters?
Well, the numbers, we are a very big fraternity, and our numbers is both a boon and a bane. No, admittedly, all our chapters are autonomous; they are supreme in their own spheres. No, so what we endeavor to have is that to put in a semblance of a national organization that will put some semblance of order and discipline among the chapters. And UP, in fact, has been spearheading this global movement wherein the other chapters would have to be under a national organization, so that these advocacies, these issues which continue to affect the fraternity would already be rectified.
Okay, Attorney, this isn't the first time this has happened. In fact, out of the 65 incidents of hazing deaths, the Tau Gamma Phi has recorded 16, the most number of hazing-related deaths in history, and also 4 since 2020. How come there's no policing system or accountability system, even with this record?
Well, that is something that we are really not proud of. I would like to say that that does not define our frat, but with the sheer number that you have cited, it seems to define what our frat is. But as I said, each chapter is autonomous. In UP, we have done something about it, and we are trying to push and put in place an advocacy that will cascade to all our chapters. We have been conducting trainings. We have been conducting conventions and seminars about the no-contact policy. We have started this in 2015 in earnest, only to be deferred because of the pandemic. So in 2 years, when the pandemic was in place, we could not go around all over the country to be able to disseminate or to conduct these trainings and conventions. But then again, once the pandemic restrictions have already eased up, we continue and we have resumed the conduct of these trainings. And in fact, we have scheduled conventions this month, even before this unfortunate incident involving John Matthew transpired.
Sir, in the meantime, if you do succeed in strengthening the national federation of all your chapters, how high should accountability go? I mean, you recognize the autonomy of the different chapters, but at the same time, you're trying to organize and say that, what we are national. So presumably, there would be a charter, presumably, there would be officers at the national level. How high should accountability go?
Well, we have to align. We have to align it with what the law says. No, so those involved or those who are cognizant or have responsibility or some form of participation in the incident would have to be accountable and would have to be responsible for it. So it's one way of trying to of dovetailing our policies with what the law says.
Well, speaking of accountability, has the org reached out to the family of Salilig, and what will the org take care of in this case?
We did. In fact, we have a brother, an alumnus of UP who is based in Zamboanga, who has reached out to the family. And this is apart from what the other chapters and councils have done. Apart from conveying their sympathies and condolences with the grieving family of Brother John Matthew, they have extended their help and have already committed to making those involved accountable. So we are fully cooperating, and presumably these members involved would be cooperating with authorities. We, in the Tau Gamma Phi, we do not give refuge to members who violate the law.
Okay. Maraming salamat po. Thank you for your time, Atty. Louie Aseoche, former president po ng UP Triskelions Alumni.